I've been waiting for that question. I've been waiting to talk about it. Your romantic relationships and how your traumas can affect it. If you only know a certain way of living, you're not going to immediately in a relationship change it. That's the only way you know. So remember those questions I asked earlier? Do you feel like you can trust people? Do you feel like you can, when people go, do you feel abandoned, dismissed? Or do you always want consistent validation from other people? Are you clingy, needy? Or are you okay that when people go, you know that they either go never to return or they're going to go and they're going to return again? That's a secure person. We carry those wounds into relationships, hoping. And I pray that one day the church also stops propagating this thing of saying, oh, he completes you or she completes you. Because nobody can complete you. Nobody can. But you can complete yourself. You are a whole on your own. Nobody needs to add anything to add to you to be a whole. You're a whole on your own. Your partner is a whole on their own. You're coming together to build something. You're coming together to further complete each other. So you're both complete already. He's not a half and you're half. How do you even know whether his half is complete half? I always show people, if your bottle is half, your cup is empty, even if he pours everything of him in you or vice versa, you will never be full. So you're now waiting for that person to complete you. You will always be a fool. And a fool for so many things because you are looking for somebody to fill you up and nobody on earth can do that. And these days, we have been Disney-fied. So now there's a Prince Charming who comes to sweep off your feet. And even if you're ugly, he will kiss you. And you will just become beautiful again. And, your life will... It's all a lie. Every relationship takes work. You've got to work. We're now in this fantasy where we're expecting everything that God used to be to us now for one human being to be that to us. So your husband or your wife will be your air freshener, your decoder, your television, your fan, your air conditioner, your table, your chair, your coach, your sex teacher, sex addict, a hole in bed. Imagine putting 7 things in your phone. So your phone is your fridge, your freezer, your phone. At what point would that phone get damaged? It's the same thing to any human being, right? So we've got to come back to that place of security, to be honest. For you to have a wholesome relationship, you've got to be a secure person. Knowing that when your partner goes, they go to return. And if they go and never return, then their story is ended in your life. You're not anxious that this guy that is going now, if I free him, because what it is that you want to hold on to control. Because deep down in your heart, you know that if I allow this person go, this person will not come back again. So we're afraid. We want to cling onto. I used to be the kind of person that said my husband has to send me messages 20 times in a day to ask me, how are you? 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 Meanwhile, himself, he's not okay. He is looking for somebody that will be asking him how are you. In fact, if you ask him how are you 3 times, you'd wonder, is everything okay? Why are you asking me how are you 5 times? Meanwhile, send me message every 2 seconds, I'm happy with it. But when in reality, he now starts to do it, I will now be wondering, why is he sending me messages 10 times in a day? Is there something wrong? So sometimes the things we even say we want, do we even really want it? Do we even know what it is? Do we know? All of us as human beings want freedom. But the freedom that you can give to yourself is knowing that everything is okay right now. Did you hear that? Knowing that everything is okay right now. And when we get to the next phase or next transition, everything is still okay right now. Because the truth is, everything is okay now. It's until you either go to the past or you go to the future that you either worry or you feel guilty. I promise you. But if you're sitting down right now, just listening to me in the moment, everything is fine. It's the same way we should go into relationships and drop the control, drop the narcissistic tendencies that we have of always wanting to be admired. Drop it and let there be freedom, let there be encouragement, let there be kindness, let there be compassion, let there be trust. And it's not trust to say that he will never cheat on me. Well, I mean, I think also the labels that we give these things also give it the gravity in which we look at it. Because nobody can be everything to you at the same time. Nobody. And I used to be on the other phase of the divide as well, where I used to think, no, it must be me, only me. It's impossible. Even if I die trying, I can't fulfill all my husband's needs. I can't. And vice versa. And I'm okay with it now. I'm okay with saying the things that I really want, but I also know that I might not get it. I know that. And if I make suggestions and he says no, it's okay. I'm not attached to it. It was a suggestion. You have a right to say no. I'm not attached to those things anymore as I used to be, to say, no, it must be. No, it mustn't. I want you to be free. The thing that liberated me was when I listened to some guy called Anthony DeMello, who talked about what love really is. And he says it is the free, I allow you do the things that you want to do, give you the freedom for your thoughts, your wants, your needs, and your desires. I allow you have the freedom to do them. When I first of all heard that thing, you can't even, my anxious avoidance personality picked up that, is it crazy? How can he do what he wants to do? I must be the one to tell him what to do and when to do it and how to do it. But I understand differently. Every human being wants that autonomy and wants freedom to do the things that please them. And so if they now include you, that means that it's something that they did willingly. It wasn't forced, it wasn't coerced. Or they were not, it was out of the plenty of their heart that they spoke. And if they don't do it, then they don't have it. Maybe you can get it in other places. Maybe you can get a village as well of people who have these things. It's like setting somebody up for failure. Going back to go and meet somebody who doesn't have the capacity to give you these things, but you insist that if they don't give you, your happiness will not be complete. That, my sisters and brothers, is insanity. Going back to the same source is dry for your feeding and your sustenance. That's madness. Why not change source? Why not find a group of people, community of people, who today you can call this person, tomorrow you can call that person, who you can feel free and be free to be with them and vulnerable. Your partner can be everything to you. And it's because we're traumatized, that's why we thought that our partners have to be everything. But no, we're meant to have our community of people that we can tap different things from and live in harmony, and enjoy life to the fullest and be satisfied and live meaningful lives. And if that partner really doesn't want to do any of these things with you, maybe you're not meant to be together. Maybe. We thought about it. Because really, there's no point being in pain with somebody when you could have been with someone else and be living the life of your dreams. If you know the life of your dreams. Honestly. So our romantic relationships are a big part of us. They can break us or make us. The people we choose to get in bed with, they can finish you. My self-esteem used to be tied to my husband's thoughts of me. I'm not even going to lie. Whenever he would say things, I would take it so personal because it was so low that I depended on him to fill me up when he couldn't even fill himself up. He couldn't. Or he could for himself, but he couldn't for me. So I had to do differently. I had to first cut off all the power that I gave to other people, inclusive of him, and start to tell myself that I'm capable, I'm worthy, I'm enough just the way I am, and I'm beautiful, I'm phenomenal. Right? I had to start to build up on my own self-esteem, on my own confidence, on my own self, my worth. I had to fill my cup up to then be able to match him, right? Before then, anything he said will break me. Anything, I mean. If he said, see this pimple on your face, it's big, immediately I'm hearing it's ugly and you are ugly. I've changed it to something else. But now if he says this thing, I hate it, thank you for sharing. Because that's really all you're doing. And it's not tied to what he feels about me anymore. Even if, yes, I want to listen to what he thinks or what he feels, but it's not tied to how I feel about myself. So let's do better in our relationship so that we can teach our children better and teach our younger ones or people who are looking up to us better. Okay? I really, really hope you enjoyed this whole series and you've learned a couple of things for yourself. And you can hear clearly how we all really need therapy because we've all been born into some kind of dysfunction or the other. Some of us are fortunate to have secure attachment styles, but then it doesn't mean that you may not be lacking something in some other way, right? So let's help one another. Let's focus on the things that we can do for ourselves so that we can do things for others. Let's seek help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. Yoruba people will say, it's the baby that carries hand that they lift up. So carrying your hand is saying, I need help. And I'm really, really proud of all of us for some people who are actually getting up and asking for it. They might not do anything with it, which is the second level, but at least they're asking for support. Let's find people who can really, really help us, change us, as we also keep doing the work in becoming better people for our nation, because we want better nations. Look at how the country is in Nigeria right now. If we had more functioning, wholesome people in government, imagine what would have happened. And that's you and I. So if we become functioning, we thrive very well in the areas of our expertise, and we become wholesome and healed. Imagine how many other lives that we can touch. Imagine how many other people that we can teach. Imagine how we can spread our tentacles into the world. And for me, that's what I want to do. I want to raise 10 billion wholesome, thriving, fruitful, happy, healthy, wealthy individuals all over the world who are living a life of meaning and purpose. Are you one of those people? Join me on this journey, because my voice is not big enough. But my voice added to your voice, added to her voice, added to his voice, added to their voice, and then their voice, and then their voice. Imagine how far we can go. Love and light. And I'm really, really excited that I was able to share this vulnerable side of me. And I have no shame. Everything that happened to me or has happened to me has happened for me to be able to sit here in front of this camera to speak to you and speak from my heart. So nothing, I'm not hiding anything, right? I'm happy to share it out. If you have questions, send us questions. I've got a deep dive mentorship class that I do on Tuesdays. Join us so that we can all grow together. Let iron sharpen iron. That's my plea. I've made it so almost next to nothing in terms of price, almost next to nothing, so that you can afford it and so that you can move and not use the saying, oh, it was I couldn't afford. No, because the truth is that if they bring one lace now and say this is the latest lace, you buy it. Or one new wig, or sunglasses, or belts. You buy it because your essence is tied to materials. Can your essence be tied to your soul and what you're able to give from your soul? It's my question to you today. Subscribe. Don't forget, if you really enjoyed this series, share it with other people as well. And make sure you click the notification bell underneath so that you can get more videos, because I'm going to be dropping quite a number of videos. Okay? Love and light once again. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Mwah.